Close your eyes. For a moment, forget the world you know. Forget the cities, the noise, the borders on maps. Forget every road, every building, every light glowing in the night. And listen. Listen to your heartbeat. That rhythm inside you is not new. It is older than language, older than humans, older than forests, older than the first creature that ever opened its eyes. It began long before life had a name. Tonight, we are going back, not to where we were born, but to where everything was born. To a world without trees, without blue oceans, without birds, without breath, without a single living soul. We are going home, to Earth, before life. "4 billion years ago, Earth was not a blue planet. It was a world still cooling from violence. The surface was broken, unstable, and burning from within. There were no forests, no animals, no sound of waves on a quiet shore. Only volcanic land, rivers of molten rock, and a sky filled with heat, ash, and poisonous gas. The air was unbreathable, the ground was restless, and above it all, the young moon hung much closer than it does today. This was Earth, not as a home for life, but as a planet still fighting to become one. Then, even the sky turned against it. Above this burning world, space was not empty. It was filled with ancient debris, rock, metal, ice, fragments left behind from the birth of the solar system. They crossed the darkness and fell toward Earth. Some burned like fire across the young sky. Others struck the surface with unimaginable force. Each impact tore open the ground. Shock waves moved through the crust. Fire rose into the atmosphere. Again and again, Earth was broken, melted, rebuilt. But inside this violence, something important was arriving. Some of those falling bodies carried ice, some carried ancient chemistry, and from deep inside Earth, steam continued to rise. Through fire, impact, and time, the ingredients began to gather. Water, carbon, minerals, heat. The things life would one day need did not arrive gently. They arrived through violence. Creation came like thunder. And after ages of fire, the planet began to cool. The red sky thickened with steam. Clouds gathered above the volcanic plains, and somewhere on that blackened world, the first rain began to fall. At first, the rain could not stay. It touched the burning ground and vanished into steam. But Earth kept cooling, and the rain kept falling. Drop by drop, storm by storm, water began to survive. It gathered inside the wounds left by impacts. It filled the lowest places. It cooled the crust, and slowly, the surface changed. At last, Earth had oceans, not calm blue oceans, not oceans for swimming or sailing or dreaming. These were dark, mineral-rich, violent seas under a dangerous sky. But they were oceans, and for the first time, Earth held something that could protect the future. But protection was only the beginning. Beneath those dark oceans, the young Earth was still alive with heat. Volcanic rock cracked beneath the water. Minerals poured from the planet's interior. Heat met water, stone met chemistry. And in the darkness, something began to change. Not life, not yet. Only reactions. Tiny exchanges of energy inside mineral-rich water, deep below the violent surface. There was no sunlight there, only darkness, pressure, heat, and chemistry. But somewhere in that hidden world, the first spark may have begun. Not a flame, not a creature, but the first step toward life. The first protocell. And from that hidden chemistry, something extraordinary began to happen. Tiny molecules gathered in the darkness. They drifted through mineral-rich water, carried by heat, pressure, and time. Some joined together, some broke apart. Some formed delicate boundaries, thin walls between inside and outside. For the first time, chemistry was no longer scattered. It had a place to gather. A small, protected world floating inside a much larger one. It was not alive, not as we understand life today. It had no eyes, no movement, no thought. Only a fragile shell holding chemistry within. But that boundary changed everything. Inside it, reactions could stay together. Energy could be trapped. Patterns could repeat. And deep below the violent oceans, in darkness no sunlight could reach, Earth may have taken its most important step. Not the birth of life, not yet, but the beginning of something life would need. A container, a shelter, a tiny world where the future could begin. And from that fragile beginning, everything that would one day breathe, move, grow, and remember was waiting. And so, from fire, from stone, from rain, and from darkness, Earth kept going. It was struck, it was broken, it burned, it drowned beneath ancient storms, and still something remained. A lifeless world slowly became a world that could hold life. Every impact, every volcano, every ocean, every hidden spark beneath the sea was part of a story older than memory. Before forests, before animals, before the first breath, Earth was preparing. And somewhere in that darkness, the future was waiting. And today, when your heart beats, when you breathe, when you look up and wonder why you are here, remember this: you are not separate from that ancient Earth. After billions of years, Earth opened its eyes through you.